Yeah. Okay, guys, so it's being recorded from now on. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, dear friends, light workers. This event has been organized by the Weekly Fasting Group, which is the international WhatsApp group of people who cultivate the habit of fasting once a week for 24 hours. We have members virtually from all over the world, and we fast every week on a consistent basis between Friday and Saturday. And in between, we also exchange different interesting ideas about nutrition, health, spirituality, and other subjects. So if you're watching this video and these ideas appeal to you, you will find my WhatsApp number. My name is Arik, and I am the moderator of this group. And you're welcome to send me a WhatsApp message with your name and with the request to join the group, and I will happily add you. It's an amazing, amazing habit to abstain from food for 24 hours every week. And today we have with us two of our friends, great speakers, John DePass and Sabina Kurz. How do you pronounce your family name?
Kurz, but you can say it any way you like. Just say Sabina, it's actually easy.
Great, great. And today we are going to talk about basics of health, basics of emotional health, physical health, mental health, because lots of times basics are missing. You know, people want to do different complicated things and elaborate things, but the basics are missing. So today we're going to cover lots of basics, but we will start with a short guided meditation led by Sabina. So Sabina, over to you.
Yes, hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here, for devoting your Friday morning to empowerment and transformation.
Yeah,
so I invite
actually Sabina, I just want to correct, for many of our members, it's evening or even night, you know, because we have people from all over the world.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. So wherever you are, whether it's a morning or night, you're welcome. And thank you for acknowledging you for being here, for taking time out of your daily schedule to devote yourself for opening yourself for more in your life. Yeah. So first we're gonna empty ourselves to a meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes and to let go of the thoughts in your mind and tune into the divinity and the stillness in your heart, because that's where your power lies. So take a deep breath, breathe in all the way up to the top of your head, and then release. We do this 2 more times. Breathe in deeply. And release. Breathe in deeply. And release. So now we're going to create a blessing for the space. Even we are all in different locations, we are creating a virtual space together, which is a sacred container, a container for healing and opening and transformation, and also a container for releasing what is no longer serving us. So today we're going to release everything that is not in alignment with the highest light. So I invite you to visualize whatever's within you, whether it's in your body, in your mind, or in your energy field that you still feel is toxic or heavy or stagnant. So I invite you to see it, let it release out of your field completely. And we're going to release all stories. The stories we made up about ourselves and the stories we made up about this world that are not based on truth, that are actually based on limitations. So we're going to release all stories. And we're going to release also all fear-based thoughts, all limited thinking, all limiting beliefs you have, everything that comes from scarcity or lack mentality. We're going to release it out. There's no space in our life anymore because we are here to experience abundance in all areas. We're going to release everything that comes from fear, everything that doesn't come from love, that has no longer a place within us. So all fear is going to be released right now. We're also going to release everything that is out of integrity, so we can live our life from truth, integrity, and our power to be a word. And we're going to release everything that is not in alignment with the highest light. And we open ourselves. We open ourselves to receive abundance in all areas. Abundance in love, abundance in friendship, abundance in finances, abundance in health, abundance in anything. Abundance is your birthright. And the only way we're blocking abundance is through our own self-imposed limitations. And we also open ourselves to love, to the sweetest, purest, highest, most divine love that comes from deep within our heart. And it starts with self-love, loving and accepting yourself for who you truly are. So we're going to fill our container with so much self-love that we're in a constant state of overflow. And the more we give, the more we receive. That is the interesting thing about love. Yeah. And we're all here to share love, share it with others and with ourselves. And we open ourselves to our authentic power that is deep within us. Power has nothing to do with outside of you. It's something that is cultivated from within. And if you own your power, you are in charge. And you declare how your life goes. You choose in every moment. And you always have the option to choose from a new place, from a more empowered place, from a higher place. So we're going to own that the power lies within. And you are a constant choice. You are the creator and manifester of your life. And no one has power over you unless you allow them to do so. But it all starts within. And we're also going to own our sovereignty. Sovereignty means being the ultimate ruler of your life, that you have the ultimate supreme power. And you are a sovereign being. We're going to own and also open ourselves to freedom. Freedom has nothing to do with what's happening in the world. It starts first and foremost within us, from within. Owning you are a free being. You're always a choice. We're going to anchor in the freedom, especially right now with what's happening in the world. We need enough people who are owning their freedom and their sovereignty and their power and the love that they are, so they can make a difference and rise above all challenges. And this is the path of remembering who you are and remembering why you're here. And we all have a mission. We just forget. This is our humanity. And then it's about remembering, getting back to who we truly are. So this is the journey we all have chosen, the journey of love and the journey of remembering. So it is, and so it shall be. Namaste. Amen. Aho. Shalom. Peace. You may open your eyes whenever you feel ready.
Wow, thank you so much, Sabina. Thank you so much. Okay, guys.
Thank you for opening yourself.
That was
wonderful.
We all leave.
That was wonderful.
A beautiful opening, Sabina. And I want to welcome everyone here, everyone from the weekly fasting group. We really appreciate this opportunity today. We are really grateful for all of you. We're grateful for the group, and we're grateful for what the group stands for, and the mandates, and what we're recommending for health in this group. I'm on the chat. You may see me, Coach John. I'm always on the chat. I'm the loudmouth in the group. So you're getting a face for the loudmouth in the group. I'm always there. I'm always practicing. That's the way that I live. It's my lifestyle. We're talking about lifestyle. We're talking about getting healthy from a healthy lifestyle. So we are grateful for this time, and we're grateful for this group. Thank you so much for coming today. And I want to, she's already been introduced, Sabina, but I want to tell you that I've just met Sabina just the last few months. And she's just a wonderful emotional support in my life now. She's a wonderful energy. And I think right now in the world needs the feminine. The world has been dominated by masculine energy, and masculine energy right now is making the world sick. And the world needs the feminine. And that's why I so appreciate her voice and her time. Please, Sabina, could you please start today by just telling us a little bit about your story, where you came from, how it came about for you, what has happened to you, what you've learned from what happened to you, Sabina. Please share with us about yourself.
Thank you, John, for this beautiful introduction. And thank you all for listening and being here today. And well, to make it brief, I grew up in South Germany in a middle-class family. I grew up on the standard German diet, which was lots of bread, lots of dairy, lots of meat, lots of refined sugar and processed food. And that was so-called normal because everyone was eating that way. So I was always sick. I was called the frail child. I was constant congested. I always had to walk around with a tissue box, and I was every month in bed with fevers and bronchitis and ear aches. And I couldn't breathe through my nose. I always had to breathe through my mouth. So my mouth was always dry, and it was just very unpleasant. And from an early age on, I somehow knew there must be another way. I had no idea what it was, but I knew there's a different way of living, a different way of being. And I was very blessed to grow up in nature. Behind our house was a forest. So I spent a lot of time like skipping school and escaping into nature. And whenever I was in nature, I just felt this peace, and I felt this, I always saw the light. I felt this light presence when I was in nature, and I felt the connection. And that was so kind of my first connection to true healing, because that's the only place really I found. I felt hurt, I felt held, and I felt at peace, really. That was it. And not just did I grow up on a very unhealthy diet, there was also a lot of abuse, emotional, physical, even sexual abuse. So the first 19 years of my life, it was just a struggle, and I felt this, I'm suffering, I'm just making it through life. So the only peace I found in nature, that was my only place. So when I was 19, I decided to leave my family. I just left, and my father said, you will never receive any money if you leave. So I don't care, I'm just gonna leave anyway. So I just left them. And I went to Munich, which was the next biggest city in Germany. And I had like $400, that's it. but I had to start somewhere. So anyway, make a long story short, I got a job as a waitress in a cafe. That's how it started. And then I went to bookstores. I knew I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I knew I wanted to be healthy, and not just healthy. I want to feel great every single day. I want to have energy. I want to feel happy. I want to look good. So all these things. And I went to a bookstore and I found this book that somehow called me. It was on a shelf on the health. And this book was based on the raw food diet. And I read this book in a few days, and somehow I knew this is the way. So I stopped eating everything I ate. So I went from the extreme German diet to only eating fruits and vegetables. And within a short time, I noticed improvement. Somehow my nose cleared up. I never had to ever had tissue boxes ever again since then. So all the mucus cleared up. I didn't get bronchitis anymore. I felt better. I was happier. My skin cleared up. It was just everything. I really had improvement within a few months in every area of my life. But the most important lesson I got from this, I realized I can be my own healer. It actually gave me power. I can heal myself. Because my mom used to take me to all these doctors. They would give me pills and potions, but nothing ever worked, or it was just temporary. And just reading that book and changing my diet, everything shifted. So I tuned into my power, said, wow, I actually am my own healer. And I was 19 years old, I was like, and I had no one in my life who lived this kind of diet. I didn't have money to hire a coach or anything. That was way before the internet. So there was only books. That was all that's available. So that's how it started. And then along the way, I would come across juicing. That was my next step. And when I was 26 years old, I did my first 10-day water fast, which then was another milestone. I actually locked myself. I lived at that time. I actually moved to New York City from Munich. I moved to Paris first. I continued the lifestyle, even I was working in the fashion industry, which was completely unhealthy. People were doing cocaine and champagne, and I was doing the raw food diet. So anyway, but I learned to kind of have this double life. I would be part of the glamorous lifestyle, living first in Paris, then in New York, but still, I was living this very clean life, going to all the parties, but not doing what other people are doing. So it was very interesting. But that's when I came across, when I lived in New York City, I came across water fasting and did a 10-day water fast. And I locked myself in my Manhattan apartment and actually combined it with a silence retreat, being a few days just by myself, just facing myself. And I have to say the first few days were extremely hard because everything showed up, all my darkness, my emotions, they all came to the surface. But then I went through it, and after day 5, I experienced something I have never experienced before. I had like this spiritual awakening. Some people call it Kundalini awakening. But I suddenly felt this complete oneness with everything and connection to God, which I never had before, and just total unity and total power and total peace and love. Like I've never experienced that before. So that was, then after this, I went deeper. I went into yoga, meditation. I became actually Buddhist for a while, studied with the Buddhist monks. I went to the temples, meditating 2 hours each day. I'm a bit of an extremist. I always used to go extreme, and I did something, I went all the way in, which I actually don't recommend anyone, just to jump from one thing into the next, but I was always going extreme from one to the other. But I explored in different healing modalities along the way: shamanism, energy healing, sound healing, herbalism, all kinds of spiritual teachings. But I went deep, and that was basically 25 years ago. It started really earlier, but really since 1996, that's when I did my first water fast. Since then, I've been committed to fasting. I'm not 100% raw food, but my diet is probably 90% raw food over the past 25 years. In the winter, more 80%, but it's still, I eat organic for 25 years now, and mostly raw. I do fasting. I used to do it twice a year, and then 4 years ago, in 2017, I actually got Lyme disease, which was a shock for me. How can someone as healthy as me get Lyme disease? So that was just I was looking for the gold in that challenge. So that when I really realized I have to go even deeper. Cleansing twice a year is not enough, especially with all the toxicity we exposed to. We actually literally being poisoned when you look at all the stuff they're spraying in the air and in the food and in the water and the EMF field. So we need to do more cleansing than ever before. So since 2017, I committed to do a water fast every month. So I've been doing 5 days water every month. And since last year, I actually explored dry fasting and have been dry fasting 27 days in 2021. So I usually do 3 days of dry fasting every month. And then, I use all kinds of different nature tools. I walk barefoot. The past 5 years, I walk barefoot in the ice, in the snow, in the mud, on stones. I even walk barefoot in Machu Picchu in Peru. I walk barefoot in the jungle, Costa Rica. So I'm a big fan of connecting to the earth, grounding, getting really the free electrons from Mother Earth that are really powerful for pro-youthening and strengthen immunity. So I use other nature. I'm a big fan of the sun, getting exposed to sunlight, even in the winter. I'm every day in the sun. I open the window. I have the sunshine on my body. I do sun gazing. So I practice different modalities, nature-based tools. So that's kind of in a nutshell, but I've been my own healer. I've not been to a doctor in, I would say, 25 years. The last time I went to a doctor, he told me my knee was hurting. I was told I need surgery. And I was like, there must be another way. And he said, no, the only way you ever get better is through surgery. So I went on a fast, I actually healed my knee injury with fasting. So that's possible too.
Good. Sabina, you mentioned that you dry fasted for how long? You mentioned 20 and something days. Is it in a row or to get all together?
No, I did 9 months, each 3 days. So
okay.
27 days last year in 2021. But every month I do 3 days. And before I did every month 5 days water. But I realized the benefits of 3 days dry fasting is deeper than 5 days water. It's just my experience.
Good. Okay.
And Sabina, one thing that comes to mind when I listen to you, and always when I listen to you, I always learn something new about you and grow something further about you. I love your story, so thank you for sharing it. But what comes to mind when I hear you speaking about these things is, you talk about the breatharian lifestyle. And the breatharian lifestyle, we talk about dry fasting, we talk about living without food, we talk about cleansing the body with fasting. And you can see that, these things parallel breatharian life, weekly fasting. It's just all aspects of kind of letting go of food. It's kind of like changing our relationship to food. It's coming to lighter foods. And, how do you differentiate between, you water fast 5 days a week, you dry fast multiple times a month, 5 days a month, you water fast, and, you dry fast frequently as well too. Like, why is that not a breatharian? Why don't you call yourself a breatharian, or why don't you associate yourself as a breatharian?
Well, I believe the breatharian lifestyle is having no food at all. And I usually do 3 or 5 days with no food, but I have never done, the longest I did was 10 days. I've never done like several months. So I don't really consider myself being a breatharian. I think breatharian is a longer commitment, doing it like over a few months. Then you call yourself a breatharian. I mean, I can call myself a breatharian for 3 days or for 5 days, but the thing is, I do enjoy food. It's not that I don't like food. Yeah, I do enjoy it. And I actually enjoy it even more after having a few days no food. When I go back to food, my first food is usually, it's like something juicy, like an orange or a grape. When I bite into, that means there's something, sometimes I cry because the taste and the sensation and the flavors and just the juiciness of the fruit is something, it brings such deep joy to my heart that a few times I cried out of joy just by savoring every bite of that fruit that I just took there. And we often take things for granted. We eat I do it also. I eat next to the computer and I realized I didn't even enjoy the food because I'm busy with something else. So after a fast, I always make eating like a meditation. I really savor every bite and I eat very slowly and appreciate the food and really, where it comes from and the nourishment that it gives us. But we forget that because this, the society we live in is all about more than less. We need a lot, we need everything. And it's a lot of, in which actually we don't. I realize I feel so much better with less food. I look better, I have more energy, I have more vitality. And I notice, especially now in the winter, that last 2 days ago, I had a little heavier meal with lots of different things. And the next morning, my body was inflamed. It reacts immediately. My whole ankles were really thick, and I usually have skinny ankles. So in one night, everything gets inflamed by eating different cooked foods. I had a little bit too much salt. So my body reacts immediately because I spend so much time cleansing. When I have something that's a little off, I get the sign right away. And then I notice we don't need that much. It's the simpler, the better. I learned the simpler the food is, the easier it breaks down and the more energy we have. And the better we feel and the better the digestion. So it's actually in the simplicity. That's where the power lies.
So, what I love about your response is just, it's really just an impression. So you have an impression of breatharianism as, living without food or doing it for a longer period of time. But I would say that, this is just a thing that, when you take away the heavy foods, when you come to lighter foods, when you start to get more conscious with your nutrition, when you start to cleanse out the body, when you start to come into an elimination type of mindset, it's the same as the breatharian. It's the same as the natural health pursuit, the person that's trying to reduce pain in their body, the person that's trying to lose weight or change their relationship with food for the rest of their life. These are skills that help us to change the way we think about food, the way we speak about food, the way we believe about food. It's kind of coming away like I didn't hear anything about calories. I didn't hear anything about proteins. I didn't hear anything about fats. All of the things that we talk about in nutrition, none of those things are here when we're talking about breatharianism or when we're talking about cleansing or we're talking about natural health or healing ourselves or changing something in our life. It's about changing your life. And the way we change our life is we change it through new food. We change it through new habit. We change it through new behavior. And we change it through natural balancing things. Naturally balancing things. Nature is balance. We're talking about coming back into nature. This is what it's about, restoring natural balance in our bodies and our life, seeing the two sides of ourselves. This is why I love having a feminine voice to share the natural healing message. It's to come out of the messy scariness that's around us right now, to cleanse out the messiness that's gotten into our body from a messy thought process. Wrong foods have been taught to us, and we need to kind of come away from them, and we've gotten addicted to them, and we have to learn how to let go of them a little bit. We've lived a lifetime with them. If you're over 40 or 50, you've gotten attached to them, and we need to learn how to just let go of them. And it's not going to happen by force. We can't force it away, but through a practice, through a process, we can cleanse out the body. This is what, Sabina, what are you doing now from what you've learned? What have you've learned something about health? What are you doing now, you know, because of what you've learned?
Well, mainly it's about creating a lifestyle. No, it's not just even just doing a once a month a cleanse. It's really a daily practice by using certain tools that you can do daily. For example, intermittent fasting, which I've been practicing for since the 90s, really. And I usually never eat in the morning. I have my dinner early. It's usually 6 o'clock. Even sometimes don't even drink, but I definitely. So it's been, you know, years I've been doing this, that I don't eat after 6 and I don't eat in the morning, start late morning. And that actually, you know, prepares your body to be okay with like 18 hours no food. For me, this is really no big deal at all to be 18 hours no food, yeah. Even no water, it's just normal. I've been doing this for so long, and that makes it then easier. Once you do a longer fast, is if you can do 18 hours all the time, to do 24 hours is easy. It's almost the same. And then to go from 72 hours is actually not so difficult. And so it prepares you, but it's that regular thing. Also eating a lot of raw food. I always start in the morning with fruit. My digestion has become really amazing. And I realized that actually all illness really is, it's an elimination problem more than anything else. It's just too much stuff has been built up because we don't eliminate. And if you have only one bowel movement a day, that's actually not enough. You're constipated. And I heard this years ago, and I thought, oh, I have good elimination. And no, and I was told I'm actually constipated. So we need to have, if we have 3 meals, it's like 3 bowel movements, at least. Ideally, you want to have 4 and 5, yeah. And that's, I only got to this point since I do lots of fruit. That actually helps get you moving all the time. Things get eliminated. And yeah, I think that's really a key thing, the elimination that most people take for granted. Going to the bathroom once, no, because we accumulate so much stuff, and whatever gets accumulated turns into a problem. It's a breeding ground for parasites, for disease, so-called disease. And it all comes down, too much has been built up. And at some point, it's too much is built up, then that causes problem. And it's really, you know, seeing it, our pipes are not flowing in our body. And the opposite is the flow state. So I'm always focusing, how can I get myself in the flow state? And it's about eating nutrition that gets you flowing, you know, doing movement, being outdoors, using Mother Nature's tools. All that helps to get you in that flow state. And also it's the mind, you know, thinking, you know, the thought pattern. We often get stuck in negative thinking, and I even see myself too. And then being aware of these patterns that actually interrupt the flow state also. How can we be in our mind fluid and open and creative, you know, constantly new ideas, interesting projects, and interaction with other people that are more like, when conversations become like a dance instead of just back and forth, you know. So all that is also the flow state. So flow state has different areas. So I'm always looking at my life, how can I create more flow in every area? Yes,
so this
John?
is wonderful. This is wonderful, love. I love all of these things. I want to copy back to you some of the things that I heard and some of the things that I think are key points of healing that I think you're talking about here. You know, raw foods, juices, lighter foods. So it's to come away from the most dense foods, from the proteins and the fats. These are the big chain molecule foods. We're coming to lighter foods, and we're coming to foods that still contain life. They've got enzymes, they've got micronutrients, they contain life, they are living foods. So raw foods, living foods, juices, lighter foods, going from solid food to juice. So lightening up, dropping the meats and the fats. We're not talking about elimination of these things, but certainly reduction of these things. We're calling for reduction on these things. And we're calling for, I think you hear with this 18 hours of emptiness daily, 16 hours of emptiness daily, maybe a starting point, 14 hours of emptiness daily, but a repetitive practice where daily you're coming to emptiness. You're practicing emptiness. We always thinking about eating. We have to come out of this thinking about eating all of the time. And we're actually spending some time in our day where we're thinking about being empty and finding acceptance and peace with empty. And then, again, flipping and enjoying that orange when you start, and enjoying the food that you eat, that you love your food on the weekend, or that you love your food when you're resting, when you're enjoying and you're honoring your divine feminine, the feeler, the emotions in you. It's integration to heal and eat and enjoy. So we can get stuck also in this, I can live without food, or I'm needing to live without food, or I'm bad if I eat food. So we have to be more gentle with ourselves. This is not about hurting ourselves. This is not about killing ourselves or forcing ourselves either. This is about loving ourselves, self-love, self-care through disciplines like fasting, disciplines like lighter foods. And I heard you just starting to shift into mindset, and also shifting into exercise and time in nature. Could you please just expand there a little bit? Exercise, mindset, time in nature, and I think even we need to consider meditation and breath work. So please, love, could you talk around these things?
Okay, so let's start with meditation. I've been practicing meditation now for 30 years, and I can say by no means I am an enlightened master. I still face my challenges, my darkness, my anger. But the thing is, meditation really helps you to, in the morning, to anchor in. That's what I say. Anchors you in, and you create a foundation. And the idea is to carry that with you during the day. And most people just do their meditation, they get up and they just behave like jerks, or whatever shows up, challenge shows up, they lose their emotions. So that's not meditation. Meditation is actually in every single moment how you handle life, how you show up in life, how do you treat others. Yeah, that's where meditation really comes in. So the sitting down is just, it's, for me, it's an anchoring in. I anchor in, okay, who do I want to be today? How I'm going to show up today? What is my, what is the energy I want to carry forward with me through the day? And then being very mindful, then whatever kicks in, to get back to that place that I anchored in first thing in the morning. And that's where really the work comes in. It's goes, all day long. It's meditation. It's really mindfulness and being in the present moment and showing up as love instead of fear. And life gives us constant opportunities, to show that we can be love. Yeah. And the deeper the challenges, the more dark the challenges, that's when really the test comes in. Can you rise above that? Can you still be loved with all that that's showing up right now, with all these people that trigger you? Can you still be that loving person that you committed on your meditation pillow in the morning? And that's where really the work comes in. That's what I've been learning after doing this for 30 years. It's not the 20 minutes in the morning. It's a daily process. And also what I want to mention with the movement is, I think, is absolutely key. To move your body every day, and not just little stretches, actually mean movements that makes your heart beat, and you start sweating, and that's the kind of movement, like really intensified movement. I think there's a lot of power in that, because it really gets you out of that limited thinking, out of the mind, out of this small mind that we often have. And I usually start my day in the morning. Now I go running because it's so cold here, and the only way to heat up and do this sweat is running. So I go running, and then I jump on the trampoline. And after doing that, I actually feel good. I feel fired up. I often get creative. I jump on the trampoline. I get creative ideas. I suddenly have ideas for projects that are getting downloaded. So the movement, actually really moving your body and sweating, that is a great way to get you out of stagnation and small thinking into the higher mind and into creative ideas. That's why I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get your body moving. And one of the best movements is actually the trampoline. If you have one in the basement, get it out. Now is the time. Or anything that's like jumping is amazing. Dancing, like really shaking your body out, that gets you heated up and your heart pumping. That is the best movement, better than any stretching or lifting weight. It's that that intense movement. And that's also the happy movement, because I notice people dance, they feel happy afterwards. And when you jump on a trampoline, I see my son, he always has a big smile. It's that happy hormone that it activates. So that's why I always recommend move your body every day. It's just 10 minutes, but everyone has 10 minutes. There's no excuse, and it won't make a difference in your day. I guarantee you. If you have any depression or any kind of low energy, that's the moment to start running and jumping and dancing and shake it out and move the energy, because it moves things out. You get out of, once it's called a state change. The state, you move from feeling stagnated and depressed to feeling a little better, to feeling suddenly activated, and could even have creative ideas coming to you. But that's crucial for changing the state. And then nature, the best movement is actually being outdoors in nature. And I sometimes even go running barefoot in the snow, or run around the house in the snow. So that's, you can combine two tools in one. Like one is the movement with cold therapy, like cold plunging. I also jump into cold rivers. 2 days ago, we had 5 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit, which is about 15 in Celsius for those different. And I jumped in the little river. It was all frozen. There was a little opening. So I went in there for 2 minutes. It was like a shock. It was very intense. But afterwards, I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't feel my fingers and my feet. But then I went in the car and I started driving and turned the music on. All of a sudden I had this biggest high I ever had. I was like, I started to dance and sing in the car. And like, I was so high, I couldn't believe, without taking anything, like complete natural high. And it lasted for a long time, even a few hours. I was still charged. And I had this amazing, suddenly ideas kept popping in, and it's just the best. Like sometimes we gotta go to these extreme places that are very uncomfortable, but by being in the uncomfortable and moving through it, then you get to a place you hadn't even imagined before. This is even available. Like this natural highs is so amazing. So nature is a medicine. I knew this since I'm a child, and especially connecting to nature with your feet or your skin, like barefoot walking is powerful. Touching a tree or sitting on the grass, lying naked in the snow, rolling around the snow, stuff like this. Jumping in cold rivers, cold plunging is powerful. There's a man called Wim Hof. I'm sure you know him. If you don't, look him up. He's the man. He teaches so much on cold therapy.
Sabina, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. I want to, I have a couple of other questions here.
I'm so sorry, John. I have to leave the meeting in a bit. May I ask her my questions, if that's all right?
Oh, yes. Okay, please. Yes.
Okay. So, to begin with, what would your suggestions be for someone who's beginning, with their fasting journey? Like, how is it that you began? Like, in a week, what is it that a beginner can do?
Well, the best thing, what is your name, please? Sorry, I didn't get your name.
My name is Manvi.
Mandri? Hi, Mandri. Thank you for
It's Manvi, Manvi.
Mandri. Oh, beautiful name. Yeah. Hi, Mandri.
Hi.
So thank you for the question. Yes, so for beginners, I definitely recommend intermittent fasting, as I mentioned before. That gets you prepared to do a longer fast. So that means you have your dinner, for example, at 6, and then the next morning you start eating at 10. So from 6 to 10, it's a 16-hour window. That is considered doing intermittent fasting. And I would suggest doing this twice a week. And then eventually you stretch it to 18 hours. And then when you feel empowered, 18 hours would go to 20 hours. And then one day you decide, okay, today I'm going to do 24 hours. And you can do either a 24-hour water fast, or the other thing you can also do is a juice cleanse, which means one day you just juice. Do you have a juicer?
Yes, absolutely, I do.
Start with a 1 day just juicing and eventually go to 3 days. Ideally, you want to get, in order to get the benefits, I suggest always doing 3 days of juicing, because the first is actually the hardest. And then most people think it's so hard, and the second gets easy, and the third day even easier. And you really want to get the 72 hours, which you get really great benefits. And you're giving your digestive system a break, because we have a self-healing mechanism, but if we eat all the time, we're always busy digesting. And when you stop eating, this frees up energy, and then the energy can go to healing. And your body knows exactly where healing is needed. So you just have to relax and trust that, it's like being on nature's operating table. Rest, you will achieve some healing with juicing, and then eventually go to a 24-hour water fast, and then to a 3-day water fast. But it's something you train yourself. It's like with the marathon, you don't just jump into, you train yourself. So that's what I suggest. And also incorporating a lighter foods that will make it easier.
So what would you consider these simpler and lighter foods?
Well, I suggest starting your day with fruits. In the morning, you just have fruits for the first part of the day, and then maybe in the early afternoon, a smoothie with fruits, and you can add some cacao in or coconut. And then for the evening, you would have a salad or a little bit of salad and some steamed veggie. But I would keep it ideally 80% raw, and always start with the fruits, because that gets your digestive system moving and gets you help eliminating.
Okay, cool. So, I do have fruits, but I have a sweet tooth. So I would add a lot of peanut butter to it, or I would add chocolate sauces to it, in order to just, so I can eat more fruits, and I would add nuts to it. So is that okay? If I do this to increase my food intake?
Yeah,
to make it more interesting.
I don't recommend mixing fruits. Fruits do not mix well, neither with vegetables nor with nuts. It causes digestive issues. The best thing is the fruit by itself, and the most potent way of eating is mono eating, which means you just have one fruit. I usually start my day with oranges. I have 5 to 7 oranges until I'm really full. And then if you're 2 hours later, I'm hungry again, I have a pound of grapes. I only eat grapes. But that is powerful digestion. There's nothing better for the digestion and for elimination than that.
Filling
and
serving.
I had, even being on a raw food diet, I still had digestion issues, but only when I went to high fruit, everything shifted. And now I have amazing digestion and elimination.
Okay, so we only have one fruit so that it's easier for our body to digest it, because we don't confuse it with many things then. That's the purpose.
But eat more of it. Don't
More
just eat one fruit.
Yeah.
Take a healthy amount of fruit. Don't be afraid of the fruit. We have to come out of this calories idea.
This is a suggestion. Nati, can you give me my charger, please? Quickly.
Yes, don't be afraid of these fruits. The fruits are nothing to be afraid of. You can really eat comfortably amounts of fruits. You can drink the juices. You can drink more juice. Fill yourself up with, a good serving of fruit. Don't be afraid of it.
But I should not add peanut butter and Nutella to my fruits.
No, it's not, we don't want to get into you can't do this and you can't do that, because it's not this, love. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not this. So maybe you're going to take some days where you don't have your peanut butter. Maybe you're going to take 1 day or 2 days where you're not going to do it, but then you can have it the other days. So we don't want to get into right or wrong. It's not you can't do something anymore.
Absolutely.
It's that we're gonna have a time where we don't do it, and then a time where we do it. It's allowed to be, and then some time where we don't. It's really to practice this that's going to allow us to kind of come away from the food craving a little bit. We have to come away from the craving, and part of it is believing that you can. So it's like you're saying, well, I can't get away from the chocolates, or I can't get away from the peanuts, or I can't. So it's like we have to stop thinking and speaking this way.
Absolutely.
We
Can
can't
I say
start
something?
with these thoughts.
I was going to say, can I say something? She had mentioned that she likes the Nutella. Now, if you read the label on that, that is nothing but pure sugar and nuts. So you have to make sure if you're craving something that you want to substitute a sugar for, go with date syrup or raw dates, fresh dates. They're delicious.
Yes, I can do that. That's a good idea. Thank you so much, Julie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and also this is just a suggestion. It's not that you have to. I give you the best option. The easiest option for your digestion would be mono eating. But if that's too boring for you, or you just don't want to do it, I understand you don't have to. But then you just have a few different fruits. It's still better than the fruits and the peanut butter. And you slowly get away from this. You can maybe once a week, you have this day you really enjoy. You have the fruit and the peanut butter. And that's, you bless it, you're going to be okay. But just know it's not the best for your digestion to mix it. Yeah, it's much easier and much healthier for you just to have the fruit. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm giving you the
Yes,
best.
and
I'm sorry.
I was going to add also, now the mono fruit is an excellent idea, because when you get into mixing sweet fruits, sugar fruits, and acid fruits, now that's going to cause you stomach pains.
Some people, and some people not. So again, this is where we get into a trouble when we really start to get too specific about what is right and what is wrong. We can't get too about right and wrong with food. It really has to come down to personal, right? But this is what we're doing, is we're trending in this way that we're trying to reduce the fats and the protein. But yes, we practice mono fruit. It's a practice. Yes, we practice fasting. It's a practice. Yes, we practice, juicing, or just water fasting, or dry fasting. We practice these things so that we can learn to listen inside of ourselves. We have to check in with ourselves and determine for ourselves what is right for us. So we're trying this one, we're practicing it. So we're doing it not just one time. A practice means you're doing it 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months. We have to understand over time. We have to understand that these things happen over time through a daily practice, through a daily routine. It's not like you're just going to get the answer and all of a sudden you don't need to eat nuts anymore. It's not this. It's that through engagement, through dry fasting, through water fasting, through juice fasting, through raw foods, through sunlight, through exercise, through meditation, through daily mindset, that all of these things, going into the river in the cold in nature, that this creates a change in your energy, that we get stuck, that we only get our energy from food. See, we don't only get our energy from food. So Sabina had lots of energy from going in the cold water. So we have to come out of the stuck on food idea, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen through a practice. Sabina's been practicing for some time. I think this is the important thing that she's saying.
So it's been how long, Sabina, if I may ask, you've been, fasting?
Well, I started in 1996. That was my first 10-day water fast. And since then, I've been doing it regularly. And especially the last 4 years, every month. Before it was like twice a year, and now it's every month. And I really do get the benefits if you do this on a consistent basis. It's a much deeper benefit. I just noticed there was a shift. Everything shifted in my digestion, elimination, energy, and flexibility. You know, I'm in my early 50s now, and I'm as flexible as I was in my 20s. I do the same yoga positions, and especially when I do a fast, I can put my legs again behind my head, which I was only able to do when I was in my mid-20s. So I noticed that, and after the fast, my body is so open and so flexible, and it's this most amazing feeling. And then after eating for about 3 weeks, you know, I noticed it gets tighter. I just feel the difference. It's time to go back on a cleanse. My body reacts immediately to food, and as John said, we don't really need that much food. It's just a program. We've all been programmed. We need all these foods. And there's a lot of misinformation out there, even in the health field, of things we need to take, all these supplements, and we need this, we need that. But actually less is more. That's what I realized. The less I started to take things. I used to take supplements every month for $500. I had like my whole cabinet with all the vitamins and all the stuff. And I would go everywhere with a bag of supplements. It's crazy. And all my money would go to these supplements I thought I needed. And one day I just stopped, hardly taking anything, and really focused more on fasting and releasing and using the free medicine we have. Nature is a free medicine. Breath work is a free medicine. Movement. Actually, the most powerful medicines are free or very inexpensive. So that's just been this journey of less is more.
It's just energizing yourself in a different way. It's, you know, you're energizing yourself from multiple ways. Mindset, exercise, time in nature, meditation, positive thoughts and words. You're combining many things that are natural to rise up your health. Fasting of different sorts helps the body eliminate waste. You're cleansing the body, cleaning it out inside so that you can process and hold more light. You can download, upload, store, share more light, more love with one another. This is about loving yourself. This is about healing yourself. This is about believing in yourself, self-belief, self-worth, self-value, talking about the things of the soul, the things of the spirit. These are things of the emotional body. This is the feminine body. This is the body. This is where we heal the body. The mind inspires the feeling. The mind inspires the feelings. The masculine decision inspires the feminine feeling. The creation is a decision you make. I am getting healthy. I am getting well. You are deciding this. It's rather than worrying about your health. This is what's happening in the world right now. We are worried about our health. We are worried about if we can control our food. We can't control our food. We're worried about our food. We can't control our weight. We're worrying about our weight. We haven't got enough money. We haven't got enough money. We're worrying about the money. See, this is different to worry about your child or to love your child. See, it's two things: to worry about your child or to love your child, or to worry about not being able to live without cookies or chocolate or peanut butter. Worrying about not being able to, or deciding that I will be able to. I'm taking back the power. This is a change of mind. It's achieved through practice of natural things. Lighter foods, less foods, live foods, fasting of all sorts, nature, exercise, meditation, breath. Supplements. Yes, there are some valuable supplements, and I know Sabina does recommend some supplements as well too. Sabina, would you please, you're not spending $500 on supplements anymore, but love, what supplements do you think people can have value from and grow from and have on a regular basis that would be beneficial for them?
Yes, so the so-called supplements that I would recommend are the ones that come from Mother Nature, which are the herbs and certain superfoods that come from nature. But I actually, for example, I used to take vitamin C pills, and I realized they come from a laboratory, and we don't even know, how much is really in there, what quality is the vitamin C. So instead, why don't we just go to the real food that is very high in vitamin C and focus on that? And one of the highest source of vitamin C is amla berry and camu berry. So camu comes from the South American rainforest, and amla berry comes from India, which is very famous in Ayurvedic medicine. So instead of taking a pill, vitamin C pill, I always recommend people, if you feel you need more vitamin C, then get the amla berry. And the other thing you could get is lemon. Lemons are also high in vitamin C. So what I do in the morning, I squeeze a lemon in a glass of water, and I have a teaspoon of amla berry powder. So I know I get my vitamin C shot right in the morning, especially right now in the winter, and I actually feel the difference. I actually feel you feel activated by doing that. And that would be the natural source of vitamin C instead of taking a pill. So that's why I recommend going to the natural sources. And we all have medicine actually in our backyard. If you have a garden, there will be certain weeds growing, and this is often a medicine. Like where I live, we have tons of dandelion, and dandelion is powerful. There's a tea. You can drink make the tea with the dandelion leaf, or you can make the root and dry it, make a tea. But this is a powerful liver detoxer. Anyone who has anger issues, go to the dandelion. And it grows everywhere for free. And we have mushrooms growing here, reishi mushroom growing here in the forests. And I pick them, I make tinctures, I put them in alcohol, make tinctures. It's one of the most powerful herbs for the immune system. So there's free medicine out there, and we all have it. There's pine trees. I collect the pine needles, make a tea, also very high in vitamin C. So this just to give you a few examples. We have medicine that grows right in your backyard or in the forest. It's close to your house. And this is free medicine. People don't take advantage of that. They rather go to a lab and buy something in a pill. We don't know where it's coming from, if it's really in there. And who are behind these companies? I found that a lot of these companies are actually owned by Monsanto, even the herbal companies. So why don't wouldn't it make sense to collect your own herbs? Yeah. And there's so much available that is free. So I go herb hunting. I have tons of herbs I make teas with. It's all free medicine. I don't have to pay anything. So that's what I suggest in terms of supplementing. And
what herbs would you suggest if a person is experiencing pain in the body?
Pain, in terms of in the muscles or in the tissues?
Nerve pain and joint pain, like sciatic nerve pain and joint pain from
Well, joint pain, that's with inflammation. It's basically diet related. So I would definitely recommend nettle tea and horsetail tea, but more than anything, it's about detoxing, because you can take all the herbs, but if you really clogged up, the herbs help very little. Yeah. So it's really more important than declogging your system, going on a cleanse, juicing, and ideally fasting, dry fasting, and then adding the herbs afterwards.
I'm doing
but the herbs are not powerful.
Yeah. I should have said in accompaniment with the diet. I'm juicing and I'm eating high fruits and high raw, not a lot of raw, mostly just fruit, mostly juice, mostly water. And I feel like it's a healing crisis, like out of nowhere. I mean, I was very high raw all of a sudden.
Bumps and bruises come along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
This happens. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
As we release these things, it's emotional.
I figured that.
Emotional energy from the body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would recommend the herbs for supplement. Focus on the detox. It's the most important. And as supplementing with herbs, I would use nettle, horsetail, and oat straw. These are the three most powerful. They actually contain silica, which are they're really nourishing your bones.
Okay.
There's also, I want to suggest too, for the inflammation, turmeric and black pepper. Those that combination together. You can do, they call it golden milk. You can do it in hot water, a tea, but that's really excellent. But the something, it took me years to learn, but the black pepper added with the turmeric is what makes the turmeric work on the inflammation. Excellent.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm adding that to warm lemon water. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So I also want to about, I'm sorry, don't want to cut anybody off. Is there a question?
Yeah, could I request for you all to elaborate a little on the bruises? Because actually I attended a Breatharian retreat like last year, and I'm entering another one very soon. And I had like 7 toxin release wounds, and that was the first time I had ever fasted or done, water fasting, juice fasting. So I just would love to know how everyone else experiences the detox symptoms, or whatever they're called, because it was really terrifying. I couldn't walk. I had to fly back home immediately, and they were like on my knees and below my knees, and it was just like, what's going on. So yeah.
Worrisome things, right? Sometimes worrisome things happen. We get symptoms when we're healing ourselves naturally. But this is it again, like, you can be worried about the thing, or you can be in confidence that you will get through the thing. You see, you can change your perspective with everything. That, you're going to get some detox symptoms as you work into natural health. It's going to be hard to get healthy naturally. Oh, yes. It's going to be hard to stay just as you are. You're telling me it's easy to be you right now? You are loving your experience now? This is the thing. Like, we are in pain, but it's the pain we know. It's going to a new pain. It's a pain we don't know. So it's scary. So we think, oh, I don't want to go there. And I know there's going to be detox symptoms, and I'm worried about this, and I'm worried. This is the wrong approach. This is the approach that got us sick, is worrying about our health is what got us sick. Right? We have to come out of this worrying about this health is believing that I can be well. Starting the day believing that I'm becoming well. And today is along my way to my wellness. I'm beginning the day with the right thought process. This is a mindset aspect of it. It's not just elimination it's not just fasting. Yes, this is the physical elimination. There is a mental elimination. There is an emotional elimination that has to happen in order for health to happen. It's not going to be just a prescription of food or of herbs or a certain supplement is the answer, because everybody's a different individual. So we have to experiment with this and see, this works really good for me. Make a decision. You know what? This works really good for me. So I do this. So it's making some of our own personal decisions. It's deciding for ourselves on what we're going to act on. And this comes through the daily habits that Sabina is talking about. Remember the habits that she's teaching. And this is what she's teaching. She's teaching a method, but it's not just like a prescription. it's a daily prescription. It's something that you're repetitively doing, right? It's a lifestyle. It's a practice. It's not like a short thing. I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to go there and I'm just going to do this. It's no, I'm committing to getting myself healthy and well. I'm committed to changing my life. I'm committed to healing my relationship. I'm committed to having a healthy relationship. It begins with a healthy relationship with myself. I am a decision maker and I am a feeler and emotion. And I have to come to get these in balance in my life. The decisions I make change the way that I feel. So if I have a worried thought process as I go into a breatharian retreat or as I go into a healing process, if I'm worried about it, then I'm fouling it from the start.
I mean, no, John, I didn't even know that there are detox symptoms. This was something that came through after I began fasting. And, I was,
that you
and it was like,
morning.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, I had one thing that came up, and then there were 7. So for someone who's never been wounded in her life, who's like in a different city, not knowing anyone apart from like a few people, it was, and I'm a city girl, and this was not a very city place. So I was just like, what's going on? So I just wanted to know, does this happen to like everyone? Because my body reacts to this like very intensely. So I'm assuming it happens to everyone.
Yeah, I think it happens to everyone that changes, because change, when you make a change on the outside, controlling yourself, then change starts happening inside. And to, what John was saying, it is so true. What we say is what we get. When we say, oh, it's hard, then yes, it's going to be hard. But if you say, I can do it, then you will do it. Words are like spells. When we say the wrong words, we're going to get the wrong effect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why I'm being courageous enough to go for another retreat now.
It's wonderful. This is how we do it.
Then tell yourself. I was going to say.
Hang on, Julie. Can I chime in here? I don't think everybody has a difficult time detoxing because all of our bodies are different. I think the thing that we haven't said here, but it comes from John's experience and Sabina's experience, is the healing crisis or the detox. It's an opportunity to trust the body's intelligence, right?
Yeah,
we don't.
absolutely.
I think we see a bump or we feel a pain or something like that, and this is someone who's experiencing some pretty intense pain right now. But I had to trust, like, this is, my body knows what to do. I set an intention for 2022 to be in a joyful, energetic body. And I've been working at that very diligently. I started before the year, and a whole bunch of stuff has come up. And then of course, like, the mind wants to freak out, right? What John says, the worry, right? And then I was like, wait, what if this is what healing looks like? What if this, or whatever was hidden before, pushed down or shoved down, right? It's coming up. So yeah, it can be scary, maybe, Manvi, but maybe not. Maybe it's not scary. What if John just said the word experiment? This is an experiment in becoming more and more healthy every day. And so different things are going to come up. For me, my first reaction, I'm just going to be honest, sometimes was fear. But then when I had the dark hours of laying in all that fear, I was like, I don't want to live my life afraid. So what if these things are happening for me? And somebody shared with me yesterday, what if you ask your body, what do you need? And what do I need to release? What do you need right now? And what do I need to release? So that's just my 2 cents. But I don't want to affirm that everybody that detox goes through hell, because I know a lot of people who don't. But I have years and years of medicine and drugs and vaccines and all kinds of stuff in my body, and years of stinking thinking and stinking beliefs and all that stuff, right? And that stuff has to come out. That's part of being healthy, as John said. It's not just the body, it's mind, the body, the heart, the soul, like everything. So just, we're talking about detoxing the body, but we're detoxing way more than that. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Thank you. That sounds wonderful. I'm super excited for my next,
That's
fraternity.
wonderful. That's wonderful. Yes, something wonderful is coming for you. Sabina, would you please talk a little bit more about, I know we do our 10-day detox together, and she brings up purpose and, passion, and she talks about triggers, and she talks about shadow. Could you talk a little bit about these things? I know these things are a big part of your program.
Yes. So we all store actually emotions, unresolved emotions and childhood trauma in our tissues, in our cells. So when we cleanse, we do a detox, that actually could bring that stuff up. Most likely, actually it will. And it doesn't come, that's why actually it's interesting what Alva mentioned. She mentioned the fear, yeah. And this is really part of this, because things will come up that you have not resolved yet. And there could be fear coming up, there could be traumas, there could be something that was suppressed in childhood. Because if we're not around super conscious parents who are really encouraging us to speak about our emotions and our fears, we hide these things, we suppress them. And so that stuff was never really processed. So when we cleanse ourselves, this comes to the surface. And we have emotional challenges during a cleanse. It's very common. We have fears coming up. We have sadness coming up. We have anger coming up. It's, I've seen it all, and I detox now for 25 years, and I still sometimes have stuff coming up. And suddenly I notice something from my childhood shows up. And that is where the opportunity lies, because this is an unresolved issue that will actually keep you small in your life, something that's been holding you back your entire life. And now when it comes up, that's the opportunity to look at it. Where does it come from? Which incident happened early in childhood that influenced that? And then really, sitting with it and being with it and loving yourself through the process. You can release it through tears, or the anger through throwing a pillow against the wall, or whatever way you need to release it. But this is a way to release the emotions with love and really do the deep work to look, where's the source, where it's coming from, what triggered that, and how it shows up in your life. There's people that trigger us, and these are actually not the people. It's not their fault. It's stuff within us, our wounds that were never really healed, and people just touch those wounds and we feel it's them or it's that situation, but it's actually something within us, our deepest wounds that we have never really healed. So that's when fasting is actually an opportunity for healing also, when we are able to look at the source of the things and be with it, and then love ourselves through this process of transmuting it. Because all these emotions, these so-called negative emotions, can actually be transmuted. We can actually use our anger for creativity. We can use our sadness for cleansing, and then getting to this place of loving ourselves with the sadness. So when fear comes up, there's an opportunity, because actually on the other side of fear lies everything you ever desire. It's all there, but the only way to get there is moving through the fear and being with it in a space of love, unconditional love, holding yourself through that process of moving through it. So this is, fasting is also, it's not physical, it's physical, but it's emotional, it's spiritual, it is mental, it has all different aspects to it. And also we over the years, we have a lot of conditioning through our parents, through school, through our environment. And that all creates certain filters. And we see the world through these filters that are in front of us. And we all see the world differently because we all have these different filters. And what fasting actually can do, it can unveil the filters. And you suddenly see the world differently. You suddenly have a different perspective of the same situation. And you can look at things differently. You see people differently. You will notice certain smells, they become suddenly not pleasant anymore. Certain energies of people, they suddenly feel You feel repelled by them. Even you were in their field before and it wasn't a big deal. So things are shifting because those layers are being taken off. And the energy you perceive is much more subtle. It's a subtle frequency. It's not as dense and as heavy. And you also mentioned, Alva, you know, you had all this stuff, you know, vaccines and all these things like vaccines or antibiotics, they leave a residue. Even if you took them 20 years ago, you got vaccinated as a child, there's still a residue there. And all that stuff is heavy and dense. And actually, it's energetically, you're on a low frequency, radiating on a low frequency. So when we cleanse, we actually can releasing that and we become lighter. Our whole energy field becomes lighter and people will notice, we will start to radiate more and just the energy is more light. It's not just light, but also light filled. You start to radiate. You're more joyful. You show up happy, you smile more often. So all that things, but it's not an overnight thing. So be patient with yourself, Alba. If you've done this, you know, years and years of abuse, we all done it. I abused my body for 19 years until I said no more. But some people abuse their body for 40 years or 50 years. So it takes a little bit of time. It's not something you can do in a few cleanses. It can take years. I actually heard this, you know, it can take seven. It depends how deep you go. It depends, you know, on how intense the trauma is, how many emotions you have stored. It depends how much toxicity is in your body. There's so many different layers to it. That's why it's for everyone, this process is different. There's no really formula that really, you know, works for everyone, but it really comes down to releasing and dissolving what has been accumulated in all areas, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So we can get back to source of who we truly are, you know, in our purest, most divine version.
It's a preparation, it's a cleansing, it's an energetic cleansing, it's a dietary cleansing. So we're talking about cleaning out the immune system, the lymphatic system, cleaning out the virus and bacteria out of the immune system, cleansing your body, ridding yourself of sickness, illness, and disease, inflammation, pus, waste, human waste, elimination must come out of the immune system, out of the lymph nodes, out of the lymphatics, out of the physical, and then out of the metaphysical, the emotional, the spiritual system needs to be cleansed as well too. There are energy systems beyond the ones that we talk about in medicine, in science. There are other systems in the body that we just don't know about. We have to cleanse out the body. It's not only physical, it's mental, it's emotional, and it's physical elimination. And all must happen. All will happen. Sometimes it's just physical for a while. Then all of a sudden it becomes emotional. Then all of a sudden it's all about these crazy madness thoughts that I've got in my head. And sometimes it goes in the backwards order. It doesn't go in an order. There's no order to it. It's disorder. It's restoring order to our body. And the body knows how to do it. It does it itself. You just need to breathe and maintain a positive frame of mind as best you can, as some sort of acceptance. This is the meditation practice. It's to sit with the breath. It's to observe what's going on inside. And it's to have some sort of acceptance of what is right now, to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things I can. I cannot change what is around me. I have supreme control of what is within me. And what is within me is managed by the thoughts that I hold in my mind. And I must understand the mind has two sides, a thinker and a feeler. That we think a thought, but the healing happens in the feminine, in the imagination, in the feeler. You've got to feel that reality. You've got to feel like you're growing in health today. If you feel like you're afraid to go outside, you need to inoculate yourself with a vaccination, with a chemical or a drug to protect yourself for your health. If you are protecting your health, then you have already got the disease in you. Because you have to know that what is inside of you is stronger than anything that could be forged against you. You'd have to believe that. So that's a purity of mind and heart and soul. It's not only elimination of waste. That is a belief in self. And that doesn't come just from doing a 3-day detox or a fast or a certain prescription. It comes from living a certain type of lifestyle that is developed over time through a practice. That comes as you clean out your channel physically and emotionally and mentally. Your channel will be able to channel the unlimited energy that is within you. The energy that is within you that can heal you or fix your relationship or fill your bank account. It's all of these things can happen for you if you clean yourself out mentally, physically, emotionally. This is detoxification. Sabina and I are running a 10-day detoxification together. It's going to start February the 7th. It's going to be a 10-day health and wellness event. We're going to meet every day and talk about these things. We're going to exercise and breathe and spend time in nature and meditate and spend time talking about these things, answering questions, talking about problems, being in a community, coming together. Maybe Sabina will say some more about our event that we have coming up.
Yes, so this is a 10-day online container. We have each day at least one session, sometimes we have 2 sessions, but we're addressing all areas. There will be a 3-day juice cleanse. So you have the option between doing 3 days of juicing or 3 days of water fasting or 3 days of dry fasting, or you can mix it. You can do 2 days of juicing, 1 day of dry fasting. It's basically a 3-day cleanse of your choice. And we have every day a call where you are with like-minded beings that go through the same experience. And John and I will be there to answer questions. And we will also set you up powerfully, because it's very important before a cleanse to transition into the cleanse, and then also know how to transition out of the cleanse. Because you can actually do a lot of things that make it difficult. So if you know how to get into it in a certain way, it will be easier. Also, there's certain tools that can support you doing the cleanse. And then it's absolutely crucial how to get out of it. You don't just want to go back to regular eating. There's actually a slow transition phase that's absolutely crucial in order to get the full benefits and to even feel good. Otherwise, you can actually hurt yourself if you transition out too fast and too intense. So we will go into all that, the preparation and the after. And then we also will be doing shadow work. And shadow work is really looking at every aspect of yourself, looking at your darkness and your weak spots, and even learning to see your blind spots, because we all have blind spots, but you cannot see your own blind spots. So it takes another person outside of you that actually will point out certain things that we often deny, we hide, we avoid, but they're there and they're actually unconsciously ruining our life. So it's actually powerful to have someone point out your blind spots. I always appreciate this when someone says, hey, Sabina, this, because that's how we grow. Because only when we know our blind spots are you able to transmute them. So John and I will be there doing shadow work with you, and also emotional mastery, talking about how we can use emotions instead of letting them control us. Or, we project emotions on other people. Instead, we can use the emotions and channel them in a positive outlook. The positive out. What's the word, John? I forgot it right now. When you send something out that's positive, channeling out, channeling them in the right direction out of us, but in a way we can use it as create in a creative way, or in a very productive way. So there are ways, because there's nothing to be afraid of emotions. Emotions are actually very powerful, and you can create miracles with them if you know how to channel them, if you use them in a constructive manner. And we also will talk about soul purpose. And that really means we all came here for our mission. We didn't come here to survive and to struggle and to hustle, or not just to get a job and pay the bills and one day we can retire. We didn't come here for that. We actually came here for our soul purpose, which is our unique calling. And every one of you has a precious gift, the gift that only you have. And you came here to bring forth your gift and to share it with the world and with others. But most people, they are so far from their soul purpose. And even they often don't know they have it, or if they know they have it, they don't know how to really use it. So we're gonna go really into certain exercises to really focus on your gifts, so you can really live fully.
And it happens through dialogue, it happens through relationship, it happens through community, it happens through talking about these things. This is like mental stuff. It's mental practices. It's asking yourself different questions. So Sabina asks questions and gets you to think about things in a different way. This is about changing the way that you think. It's about challenging the way that you think. Like, do you believe that you are the creator of your reality or not? Do you believe you can make yourself healthy, strong, and well? Do you believe that you can support yourself? Do you believe you are worthy and valuable? You know, sometimes people blow off at these things and, you know, do you love yourself? Oh, yeah, sure I do. But, you know, when you start asking yourself deeper questions and you sit with these questions, who am I? Who am I? When you sit with these things over time, then your mind is changed from them. It's the experience of sitting with these things. We're talking about oneness, for example. We talk about singularity. We talk about there being one energy here. Could you imagine that everyone here is the same thing, looking out at each other? Could you imagine that what you're thinking about the other could be you thinking of yourself? Could you imagine the way that you're thinking about me right now is coming right back at you because you're thinking at yourself? This is oneness, right? So when you sit with a concept and you breathe with a concept, you see how a concept can change your perspective. It's mental work. It's thought work. It's getting out of the way that we are thinking that's making us sick, right? I am the creator of my reality. Well, how do I create it? Well, from my thoughts and words and actions, I do. So if I want to create something different, if I want to create health, then what? I must change my thoughts and words and actions, right? It's not a prescription for health. It is a changing of our mind that makes us healthy, that we start to embrace a healthy way of being, which means I'm going to have to maybe think a little bit differently than I do. So I'm stretching myself a little bit by having some dialogue, some communication, some practice, some habit, and being in a container with Sabina and John and talking it out with them, some of the things that are going on. It's about relationship. It's about friendship. It's about love, loving ourselves and loving the others. This is a purification of heart, soul, body, mind, whole body connection, cleansing, purification, detoxification, getting the body and mind ready to be healthy and well, vibrant, energetic, to share a message with this planet that there is a power within you, that you have the power to change your life. This is the message that 8 billion people need to know, that they're not a victim of their health, that they are in charge and the creators of their health or their disease. And they need to change their mind and know how to do that. There is a way. You can learn the way to be healthy and well, right? Now, there's some questions. I want to make sure we cover all the questions that were sent. I did get some questions in our chat. One person asked, you know what, before I go on to even these questions, and I'm going to address all of the questions in the chat and the questions, maybe I'll just say our 10-day detox is going to start February 7th to the 17th. And I'm going to tell you that it's daily events, once or twice a day. We're going to be meeting together. So there's accountability and relationship and dialogue and community. And it's a 10-day time with Sabina and I, and we commit ourselves emotionally, energetically, physically, mentally to the project. It's a love passion project for the both of us. This is a 10-day event. It's $197 to do this event. For everyone that's on the call today, it's half price. It's $100 for the event. It's a 10-day detox with Sabina and John. We're going to be doing it at least, every few months, every 3 months, every 2 or 3 months, we will be running this event. So if it doesn't fit you now, then hopefully it fits you next time. So we get a half price for everyone on the call. Going into the questions, there is a question here some questions here for you, Sabina, that I want to make sure that one person specifically asked, and everyone says how lovely Sabina is. So you're lovely.
Thank you.
It's wonderful, and they're going to check in with you later for sure. I hope everyone is going to like Sabina on Facebook and on Instagram. We're going to find Sabina. We're going to make sure we get links to Sabina. Sabina and I will be doing the 10-day detox. But if you don't want to do that, hopefully you can connect with John or Sabina on our groups, on our pages, on Facebook, on Instagram, in our chats. Please connect with us. We want to connect with you more. Which foods worked to facilitate elimination for you, Sabina? Which foods helped to help you eliminate?
Well, especially the citrus fruits and the grapes, I would recommend. They have powerful, they're actually dissolvers, especially lemons, limes, and grapes are dissolvers that dissolve plaque and mucus buildup and acidity in your body. So they're extremely potent for elimination. In general, all juicy fruits are good, but especially I would focus citrus fruit and grapes. And also what is great, the watermelon, if you still live somewhere where they have watermelon available, I would eat watermelon a lot. They're amazing. Also to get your lymphatic system moving, and your lymphatic system is responsible for it's your sewage system. So that's what I would recommend.
Wonderful. Someone asked, how do we enroll in this program? And I want to say that we have an enrollment page. We'll make sure we include our enrollment page with the replay of this video. So hopefully we'll get people to enroll that way. You can also please just like Sabina or like John and send us a personal message, or get into our chats or on our group pages and leave us a personal message. We would love to answer any questions and get you all enrolled. Just let us know and remind us that you were on this call today to get our half price offer. I have a problem with triggers, someone asks. When I'm at work, I can't listen to anyone praying out loud. How can I change this? How do I change a trigger? Maybe I'll just mention this for a second first, and I'll say, triggers of all kinds. We all get triggered by different things. Some people are triggered by their wife or their husband. Some people are triggered by their children. Some people are triggered by work, their boss, their employee, their friend, their parents. The people that are closest to us are very big triggers. Some people are triggered by cultures. I don't like white people. I don't like black people. I don't like women. I don't like men. You get into cultural triggers, sexual triggers. There's triggers of all kinds. We all have triggers in our life. And so not to worry, how to love something that we don't love. This is a trigger. We don't love this. We don't like this. I don't like people that are getting vaccinated. I don't like that I have to wear a mask. It's a trigger for me, a mask. Right? But see, as long as you keep getting triggered, you're putting yourself in a negative energetic space. How to come out of a negative energetic space? Well, there's lots of things you can do to improve your negative energetic space. We've listed a lot of things today that you can do to change your energetic space. But how to change it, in everyday life, like, every time my daughter does this, or every time my son does this, I get triggered. Every time my wife does this, every time my husband does this, it gets me like this. And once you get into this place, then you're pushing the partner away, and it ruins the relationships, and it ruins the health, it ruins the happiness. How to overcome the trigger? I tell you, this is in the meditation. It's to sit in the meditation, even first. If someone is afraid of spiders and they go to a psychologist or psychiatrist, they're going to first hold a picture of the spider and say, does this scare you? And you're going to ask about it. And then they're going to put the picture closer to you. And does it scare you now? And then they're going to put the spider in a cage and bring it closer to you and let you come closer to it. And then they're going to put the spider on you. So it's like you're going to come closer to it in mind first. So you sit in your meditation and you sit and you think about your wife or your husband or your child or your boss or your financial problem or your food distress that you can't get over this protein, or you can't get over this peanut butter. You sit and you sit with that thought, I can't stop eating peanut butter. I can't stop eating peanut butter. And you stop saying this thought. Look at this thought. You know what? I can stop eating peanut butter. I love my wife. I love my child. You see your child doing the thing that they're doing that's bothering you, but instead in your mind, you're thinking about giving love to your child anyway. You imagining this, you practicing it, you're rehearsing it in the morning. It's a meditation in the morning. It's a meditation in the night. This is a lifestyle. It's not a simple solution, but I practice this daily so then I get better at it, right? You can practice eating pizza. You'll get good at it. You can practice health and you will get good at it. Oh, but I can't. I know that's because you keep saying you can't. You have to start saying, I can. I can. I can. This is how I take back control. I have control.
Hey, John, can I add something with the triggers? I took this class that really helped me. When somebody does something and it triggers you, it's not that they're doing it triggered you. There's something inside you. So what I was taught, and this was very helpful, it was such a mind-blowing experience for me. I never liked the sound of piano playing. Couldn't figure it out. Go to church and all the piano play just irritated me. And I thought, I'm in church. I'm in the house of God, So, okay, moving forward. I was told to set. And when that trigger, sit quietly in a meditation and feel that feeling, that trigger, that irritation, feel it. And then ask myself, you're going backwards. Where does this feeling stem from? Where does it come from? And keep holding on to that feeling. My 4 steps to triggers was, first we have to see it. It's like, okay, somebody triggered us. You just saw it. You have to feel it. You have to observe it. You have to understand it. And then you have to decide to let it go. And I realized that and I don't want to, make this about me, but the whole trigger with the piano dated back from when I was a little toddler. And my mom would take me to a babysitter on Sunday. Well, the man was a preacher and the woman was the pianist at the church, but they had done some horrible things to me, and so somehow I related the piano to that and was able to. And once I realized that's what it was, I was like, wow, and I just let it go. So that was a trigger for me.
Sabina, triggers, please.
Yes, so I just want to add quickly, your triggers are your treasures. Saying this again, your triggers are your treasures. So someone, because they're pointing something out within you that is unresolved.
Exactly.
Like Judy mentioned, it's not the person, it's that person's fault or the situation. It's something within you. So it really takes, separating yourself from the situation and going deep, looking in your childhood. Where did something similar occur? Something maybe with your father or your mother or your siblings, something early in childhood happened that was similar, that was suppressed and that is still unresolved. It's a wound. And by really going deep and looking where that comes from, then you can transmute that and have it less power over you. But we tend to blame the person. It's the person who did that, or it's the situation. But no, they just, point. So that's why these are simply messengers. The situations and people are your messengers. They're your treasures, because they're pointing something out in you that you then have the opportunity to heal, to transform, and to be empowered around. So when it happens next time, you know where it's coming from. But next time, you're not reacting to it. You take a breath, say, okay, this time I'm going to be empowered around the situation. I'm not going to react. I'm choosing differently. I'm choosing from an empowered place. I'm choosing from a place of love. And that's how over time you transform. You become more empowered around all the triggers. And then you will realize they become less and less, or they just don't trigger you anymore. Certain things that used to trigger you before suddenly have no more power over you because you are in charge and you know where the source is. So it was good example, Julie, with the piano. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, I was going to add the trigger is almost like being underwater, holding your breath. Mm-hmm. And, you can't take a breath unless you let it go. So the trigger is that stuck spot right there, and then letting it go, or like the air bubbles that go up in the air, and then you're free. You're absolutely free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's liberation. When you know yourself, when you know all these, blind spots and weak spots we have, when you see them for what they are, they have no more power over you. You become free. Because you become an empowered person, a person who chooses. They're not going to react to these little things anymore. No, you stay in your center. You're anchored in. And you come from love, no matter what's happening. And the whole world is around you breaks down. You stay centered and calm and collected. And that's where the power lies.
Correct.
By looking into the dark, you find your peace. By finding peace in the darkness in your life, in the shadow, in the trigger, by finding some peace with it, like just coming to ease with it, just breathe with it. It's okay. There's the spider. It's around me. Just imagine the spider is around me. And I love the spider. We need spiders, right? We need spiders. Here's another question, Sabina, would you address? Have you got any advice when people start to project their anger towards you? I had a difficult conversation with my dad the other day. He doesn't believe in breatharianism and started to get worried and angry at my lifestyle choice.
Yes, so your power comes in loving him anyway. Even he gets angry at you, you can, the thing is, there will always be people when you go a certain path, there will be always people who criticize it, to make it wrong, who mock you, who judge you. That's part of the journey, because we're going a different route, and there will be a gap between where you're going and where other people are. So first of all, recognizing that's part of it. And all we can, love people in this process. We can't take them unless they're willing to go that path. And if they want to ask, tell me more, I want to know more. But most people will most likely not go that path, and it's okay. It's about accepting it and loving them. If he gets angry,
it's a little lonely.
Don't react back. Yeah.
It's a little bit lonely sometimes. People around you, your family, will worry for you. This is how they love. They're using a broken love. They're worrying for you. They're not loving you. Look, you're not loving me, Dad. You're worrying for me. You can't teach Dad to love. You can't teach Mom to love. They won't listen to you. This is just Mom and Dad. This is the nature of child and parent. Don't worry. Parents will always not approve of what you're doing. You will always not approve of what your child is doing. Stop judging and just kind of become allowing. So it's like you try to control your child, but then you have to learn how to love your child. Authentic love is different than the love we have learned from life, from our parents, not blaming them because that's all they knew. So blessed, thank you for giving me the best you could. But even the best that we got, no one had an unconditionally loving model in their life. We are learning how to love. That's what this is about. Learning how to love yourself, learning how to believe in yourself, find your value, find your worth, come to it every day. Come to it in each moment, that you're not worried about what's going on, that you're in belief all of the time. Right? So yes, your parents are not going to approve of your breatharian life. No one's going to understand that you're not eating protein. No one's going to understand that you're eating too much fruit. Everyone is going to tell you that it's wrong. Everyone is going to tell you that you need your BCAAs. Everyone's going to tell you don't have your branched chain amino acids and your fatty acids, and you're missing out on this. And if you don't take your B12, you're going to die. Yes, you're going to hear all of these things, and they're all going to tell you that you shouldn't do that. That's stupid. And that's so stupid. Someone else I know stupid did that. Don't worry about what anybody else says. Honestly, to love yourself, I have to tell you, this is a sorry thing. To love yourself, you have to disregard what even your child thinks. The extension of you. You have to love yourself regardless of your child's opinion. You have to love yourself regardless of everyone's opinion. And sometimes your brother, your mother, your sister won't agree with you. Tell me two people in the world that you can agree with on all things. No such thing. Come real. This is how it is going to be. You have to walk on this road yourself. It's the road less traveled. It's sometimes lonely. This is why we have a community. This is what the community is for. That's why you come on the chat. That's why you share. That's why we get together each week for a weekly call. That's why we group together for a fast, and we share what happens and goes along the way. Sabina and I are having a fasting teaching lifestyle program. You join in with us, and it's the same thing. We come like this and we talk about it because this is what has to happen. We need dialogue and relationship. This is how it's always gone. Since the beginning of time, it's gone from teacher to student. That's how it's always happened. The books have always been burned. The libraries have always been smashed. The truth has always been kept from the population. This is how it's always been. Nothing is new. We just have more internet. So there's more avenues for control. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that has always been here. We can come back to the same thing. We can come back to what's natural. We can come back to the nature that we are the creators of our reality. Yes, we are. If we understand how the mind works, truly, it's masculine and feminine. It's not just decision. Like, it's not like just like, I'm gonna fast. It's not only this, but if you practice it, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna get it along the way, that it's not just that. I gotta change the way I feel about food. I got to learn to live on less food. If you're over 40, if you're over 50, yes, it's true. You need to live on less food. Half the food, yes, it's true. And you're going to have to move more too. You're going to have to exercise while you're eating half of the food. Yeah, how do you do that? Yeah, that's what you have to do. It's not easy, and it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to come just from a thought or a word or a pill or a potion. You got to change yourself. You can't just buy a new car. It doesn't change your life. It's the same driver. You have to change the driver. You have to change yourself to change your life.
I just want to say thanks so much, John and Sabine. I've now been following your content, John, and I absolutely love it. It's been inspiring me. So thank you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I love to hear the feedback. I feel like, you know, this is an extension of my family. I really appreciate to have feedback from you all. There are a couple other questions here. Would you like to ask a question, love?
Oh, I asked, my question was the one about my dad and the conversation.
Oh, that's yours. Ah,
yeah.
Thank you. Don't worry about Dad. Yes, he's not gonna believe you.
He got so angry at me, and I was like, you know what? I'm not here for this. I'm not here for this conversation. And I am like, I'm giving it love, and that is really, it's wonderful to say that. Like, that's where you are empowered. I just haven't really spoken to him since, but I'm like, we won't see eye to eye about it, and that's okay, because I know that I'm doing what's best for me, and I'm empowered, and I'm healthy and vibrant. And the thing is, I'd lost my voice last weekend, and he was like, I can hear it in your voice. You're not healthy. You're tired. And I was like, I lost my voice. You know, because I was releasing anger at a workshop, so I lost my voice. And he was telling me, I can hear you're different. And I was just like, oh my God. Because I'd also been on a 4-day fast last weekend as well. And so he was just like, this is proof that you're like ruining yourself. And I was just like, I'm the healthiest and happiest I've ever been. I don't want to prove myself to you. Like, okay.
It's not an easy walk, though. It does come ups and downs, and sometimes we come down, and sometimes when people come down on us, like the people we love, we can really get knocked off our game. It can really put us into it's a negative trigger. It triggers like we're feeling poorly about ourselves. It brings up the poor energies. So those poor emotions come up when I am berated by parents. Or person in society.
And I was going to add also, keep in mind that that's the place that your dad is coming from. You see it as fear. You can understand it's fear, but for him, it's probably love and concern. He just doesn't understand.
That's his love, is worrying for you, right? This is how he's learned how to love. This is how the world has learned to love, is to worry for the other person. To worry about the kids, like I do this too. I've made this mistake, worrying about my kids.
Yeah.
I'm learning now. My daughter's turning 19, and I'm learning how to love her. Like for how she is, just how she is. Right? We have to learn that. And sometimes we don't learn that, and we're 50 and 60 and 70. We haven't learned that yet. Well, you're not going to teach your parent how to do that if he hasn't learned that at 60 or 70, right? So this is my father. This is how he is. I tell you, my father, he's the same with me. So I know how he is. I have to disregard what he thinks and says about that. That's okay, Dad. Yeah, I know, Dad. Yeah, okay. I know. I know.
Amazing. I love
Right?
it.
This is how you have to be with Dad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Not try and get logical with him. He doesn't want to hear it.
It's not gonna, you can't explain it to him. It's hard enough to explain it to someone, your own peer. Like they won't even understand. They think you have to eat protein and you have to eat these calories. They're not gonna understand. No matter how much, well, I can really speak it really clearly to them. I'll really sit there and talk with them and explain it to them. They won't understand. It's still, you can't explain this to someone. This is a calling. It's you're being called to this. So if you're called from your intuition, from inside of you, you are understanding from inside of you that this is for you. Well, they're not going to understand it. It's not coming from inside of them. It's coming from inside of you. So it's okay that they don't understand. You cannot make another understand. So I have to accept they're not going to understand me. Some of them going to understand me a little bit. That's okay. This is how it is. All I can do is model the best behavior. Some will understand the behavior, others, most will not. But one person is going to understand in the group. 2 people, 5 people are going to understand in the group. Maybe none in your family, though. So I'm going to move to another question then here. I'm going to pull up another question that's on our chart here. If you eat raw fruits and vegetables mainly, and you don't drink water at all, and you urinate a lot also at night, you need to get up a few times. Is that normal, or it indicates a problem with the kidneys? So you know what, this is it. We can start to get worried about things, right? How do you strengthen the kidneys and get them to liberate properly? All of this comes. You know, sometimes we get into like, I got to get my kidney filtration. I got to get this. I got to get that. So we get stuck in sort of thoughts. I've got this parasite. I've got this yeast. You get stuck on thoughts, limited thoughts. Really, if I come to my senses, there is nothing that can overcome my power. I am the creative force. There is nothing that can beat me. I am the creator of all things. That's within me. There's a perfect part within you. So I can always touch to the perfect part of me. There is a perfect part inside of every single one of us. I can learn to have a better contact with it by cleansing out the channel and by practicing daily to have a relationship with it through devotion to it. You are purified, and it gives you greater contact. It gives you greater information. It gives you better intuition, internal knowledge. You are connecting to the source through relationship, through dialogue, through communication, through practice. This is how it comes. Through diligent practice, over time it comes. Cleanse the body, cleanse the mind, cleanse the words, practice. This is the way. It's the only way. It doesn't happen overnight. Look at your healing over the year, 2 years, 3 years. Look at it over. Don't try to get the quick fix answer. There is no quick fix to it. Not natural. We thinking we're going to get a pill and everything's going to get fixed. That's what we learned. We learned wrong. We learned backwards. They taught us backwards that you're going to get a pill and you're going to get fixed. That's not true. You cannot take a physical thing, a chemical or a drug, and put it into a metaphysical thing, an unlimited thing, and take a little pill and put it inside of the metaphysical being and think that you're going to make the being well. This is a broken idea. The being has choice. It has free will. And so I cannot give you the answer for you, but you must choose your own answer for you. And the way you have to go to choose the answer for you is you have to get into a diligent daily cleansing process that is cleansing your physical and mental wellness and preparing you emotionally to be healthy and well. This is a habit. This is a behavior. This is a lifestyle. We are teaching a lifestyle here. What do you suggest in order to strengthen and regenerate both the kidneys and the liver? So I'm suggesting this lifestyle. I'm suggesting it's not going to happen just one thing. I'm not going to tell you it's just one thing. But if you get into this lifestyle, if you learn this lifestyle, you practice it, it becomes your nature, then you will balance because you're natural. If you put an arm in a cast and you sit it still, in 8 weeks, it will mend. Do you understand that? You put the bone, a broken bone, in a cast, and you sit it down, you hold it still. You hold it still for 8 weeks, it will mend itself. Do you understand that the human mends themselves? Okay, that's an understanding and a belief. It's just a knowing. Look, my body is going to mend itself. It will come back to well. That's believing my body will be well. That's not going like, oh, I have to worry about the virus. I need to take a chemical. I'm not worrying about the disease. I know I will be well. I know a different model for disease. I understand that, you can connect with a virus externally, but do you understand how much virus and bacteria you have internally? And that you understand that you can clean out the virus and bacteria that you have internally. You don't have to worry about the external thing. You have to worry about the internal thing. You need to get the right information and understanding to be healthy and well. You need new knowledge to be healthy and well. You have to come away from what you know to be healthy and well, because what you've got has been created by what you think. So if you want to get something different, you're going to have to think something different. How are you going to think something different? Where are you going to get different ideas from? You have to get different ideas from something that inspires you. If it calls to you, you will be just like captivated by it. If it speaks to you, then it will invite you. You will feel powerfully attracted to it. This is how you know, follow your bliss. If it's powerfully inspiring for you, go to it. It's for you. Follow it. There's something there for you to learn. This is what the human does. They love and they learn until they die. Until their deathbed, they will want to learn and they will want to love. Make your life be about love. Make your life about learning how to love without condition. Commit yourself to this. Practice. Practice this. This is the practice that will heal, mend, fix, change anything, everything in your life. It's a habit, it's a behavior, it's a lifestyle, it's a practice. Come and join us and learn how to do it along with us, masculine and feminine, because there's benefits to two, and we need both. And we need to learn how to balance the two within us. Every single one of us has two.
And I also asked, these are my questions. I also asked about I know I asked it the last time, but I still, in terms of percentage, like the ideal human diet.
Let Sabina address that. Let Sabina
Okay.
address that, please, Sabina.
You meant what percentage?
Well, I know we have to be like the great apes, mainly on raw fruit and fruits and greens. And what about animal products like eggs or fish? Is that do we need that?
Well, I don't recommend that, but I'm not here to tell you what you should be eating. First of all, I'm here to empower you so you can listen to your body, tune into your intuition, feel what's right for you. But what I can tell you is that, all animal products, eggs, grains, they're all mucus forming. That means they cause inflammation in your body. Also, mucus creates the clogging up of your entire system. That means you're getting stagnated and heavy and tight. And you want to be fluid and open and flexible. So the diet that is about fluidity and flexibility and openness and flow is really the fruits and the vegetable. When you eat fruits and vegetables, they cause your body to. Everything flows, everything moves, you're open, everything becomes flexible and open. But all the other stuff, like as I said, meat and dairy, eggs, all kinds of grains, they all cause mucus and they all cause stagnation in your body. So fish also, yes, fish also, all animal products. So you want to choose which category. That's okay to have it once in a while. I'm not saying you have to completely eliminate it. If you really call fish and have it once a month, have a small portion and just bless it and enjoy it. But if you have it on a regular basis, that causes mucus buildup in your body. So it really depends, it depends how far you want to go, how deep you want to go.
I want to know what humans are supposed to love, because a lot of, like, even Dr. Filanov and of course other doctors.
What we're supposed to love. That's it. This is the broken thought, love. This is the broken thought. What we're supposed to. What somebody said.
Okay.
You're looking for an answer that somebody else said, what you're supposed to do. You want to have a prescription. You want to have a health prescription. You want me to tell you how to be healthy. I know. I would like to have the answer too. And I'm talking around the answer. I'm not giving it because there isn't it. There isn't an answer to get. There isn't an answer that one diet is for everyone. I tell you, some people believe that they should eat raw meat. I'm telling you that they do it. I don't do it. I did it. I did a lot of meat protein. I did it. I did it until I broke myself with protein, eggs in the morning, eggs in the night, fish and chicken and meat all day long. By the time I hit 40, I was broken in every single way from eating protein. Now, at the same time, I'm not saying that you have to eliminate it, because there are some people that I know that live with some protein and some people that live with eating meat, like they just live on meat, and they are seemingly happy doing it. So it's the belief more than anything else. And some people are at a point in their life where they believe that. Like I used to believe that I needed to eat that protein, and I swear I didn't need it at that time. But through education and information and study and practice, I came to believe something else. And now because I believe something else, I no longer need it. So I changed my mind.
So you're 100% raw vegan?
No, I'm not. I'm not 100% raw vegan. I'm not 100% anything. And I don't recommend it. Because if you look at the ocean, it goes in and it comes out. It's never 100%. There is nothing here that is 100% all the time one way. This is the nature.
But animals, like they go according.
Again, you're comparing us to animals. Now, I want you to understand the difference between humans and animals. There is a difference. And the difference is free will. Animals follow an instinct and they cannot change. Like the koala bear, he eats bamboo or eucalyptus. He cannot change his diet tomorrow. He can't grab a fast food burger, but the human can because they have free will. And this is what separates humans from every other thing on the planet. We are the special ones because we have free will. We have choice. And this is it. You don't want to choose the diet for yourself because you don't want to choose the wrong one because you're afraid to choose the wrong one. I know. We're always afraid to step forward. But listen, you step forward with one thing and you try it for 3 months or 6 months or a year. It's really not a long time, a year. Try it for a year, even for 3 or 5 years. And then you're going to say, you know what? I feel like I want to eat some meat today. I want to eat some fish today. I want to eat some. I see lots of people go to vegan life and just be nothing. I don't need anything. I just eat nothing but vegan. And then I saw them too turn to me 5 years later, because I've been in it long enough that I saw some of them go that far that way because that's the right way. That's right, because you're listening to someone. If someone says to you, that's the right way, well, then I can listen to it. And you want that listen. But then in 5 years, in 10 years, you're going to decide for yourself. Well, now I can't, I want to eat my arm. I feel like I want to eat my child because I haven't eaten anything for 10 years. You have to listen to yourself a little bit. So you try this way for a year or 2 years or 3 years, really not a big deal. And then you're going to say, you know what? I want to have a little bit of fish in my life, or I want to have a little bit of goat cheese, feta cheese. I have a little bit of feta cheese. I have a little bit of Parmesan. Sometimes I have pizza with my kids, but I don't really eat meat. But let's say I went to my family for dinner on Christmas and my mom made a fish and she said, honey, can you try the fish? How you like it? This is an emotional thing for mother. So don't say, Mom, that's not right. Don't eat fish. Don't do that. Okay? You see, you have to do something and enjoy it. Enjoy the fish. Say prayer for the life of the fish. I'm not condoning factory farming. I'm absolutely saying get away from it. I'm absolutely saying reduce meat, cut it down. But I understand also that some people here are addicted and some people here have some bad habits, and the bad habits die hard and they don't change overnight. So you can't just come in here with a baseball bat and start telling everyone you can't do this and you can't do that because this is right and that's right. I'll tell you, this is like, okay, have you ever met someone that just turned Christian and they come back to Jesus? Come to the church, come to church with me, come to church. They're just all they found Jesus. They found Jesus again, and they want you to come and find Jesus with them. God bless their soul. They're in the spirit. And they think now you have to come to their church to hear the message so that you can receive the light. This is what happens when you first see something, that you think it's just a right way only, that there's a right way. It's breatharianism, and that's the way. And so what? You practice it for 3 years or 5 years. And then you're going to say, well, now I feel like I want to have some cheese. Maybe, maybe not. But that would be your choice. A decision that you'd make after a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years of honoring a commitment that I'm a vegan. So you do it. And then you say after 3 years or 5 years, oh, you know what? I like to have a little bit of a mixed diet. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of cheese. And why? I eat it with my kids. I eat it with my family. And I find it's helpful for me and my body and my life. So I'm not going to hate myself because it's wrong. It's not right or wrong. If you do this, then you're going to never love yourself. If you think it's going to be right or wrong, it's a different thought process to heal. We have to come away from right or wrong. Some people are wearing masks and they believe there's a deadly virus. And some people not even thinking there's a deadly virus. Two different realities right here, right now, depending on the person's choice, where they're going to put their focus and their attention. One is, you're going to tell one is not true and the other one is true. They both believe it's true. It is their reality for both of them. What is the true food? Well, one person going to say it's this, one person going to say it's that. That's what's going to happen from now to the end of time.
Like Eskimos, they live on meat alone.
Yes.
But I mean,
I can add something to that. Plants, because they came from the earth the same way we do, rise from the earth, dust you return. There is a cellular structure in the plant running through their veins. Let's compare it to the human body blood. And the blood is pumped from top to bottom through our whole system in 1 whole minute, completely. And it is sending messages through all the organs, through all the cells, sending messages, talking, communicating. Now, the cellular structures of raw fruits and vegetables contain the same structure as the human body. And when we consume them, they communicate with our cellular structure. Now, if that's where you want to go in a vegan, healthier, that's your choice. And if you live this lifestyle, then occasionally, say maybe once or twice a month, you want to have some salmon, then go for it, because you know that you maintain a healthy lifestyle, that 1 or 2 times a month is not going to pull you down. And if you start to feel some kind of adverse, effects of it, and it's cramps up in your stomach, it's a knot in your stomach, then that's your body saying, maybe you ate too much salmon, or no, don't eat that.
I love that.
But that's one way to look at, whether or not to eat or not eat plants. Now, the path that I'm going, I'm not quite sure if it's breatharian or going into 100% vegan, but I've even gotten into the universal symbol for help, rescue is SOS, right? SOS. when you're, you need help, you're dying. But I found, I read something the other day and it was just mind blowing. The real meaning of SOS is no salt, oil, or sugar.
And sugar.
Yeah. So here, I have to go back now because, I was thinking, okay, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit. But now I just occasionally when I want, because it gets tiring just chewing on a bell pepper all the time. I like to sweat them, lightly sweat them. And I'll just add a little water, and lemon has become my staple in everything because it's a substitute for salt because it adds the flavor. So
we need comfort with ourselves and our food. This
Yeah.
is the thing. We can get adamant about one way or the other way. And when we're in this adamant state, this is the masculine. This is the right way. This is the masculine. It's authoritarian. This is how it is. You shouldn't eat meat. Yes. Okay. When you start to get authoritarian, when you start getting dictatorship, control of the masses with one mindset and one way, this is what's going on. This is the trouble. Okay. We need more feminine. We need less dictatorship. We need more feeling. Feeling means like, what do you feel like, love? How do you feel, love? How do you feel about this? Not like, this is the way it is. And I haven't made a mistake of being like this in my life. I've done this in my life.
Well, fanatic. Being fanatic.
You can do it. I'm just saying that's, and you practice one thing for a while. So you polarize to the masculine and you practice it. And then after 3 years or 5 years of practicing that, you say, you know what? I've made a decision in my family and I feel like I want to eat some of this. This is intuition. This is inner knowledge, inner wisdom, right? It's listening to the spirit, soul, body. Listening comes from emptying out the body, fasting, cleaning the body. Then you have a positive, powerful contact with the source that is within you. Now you can share the source freely from within you. It's a different energy, not food energy, spirit energy. Okay, authentic nutrition is something different. I have to change my mind, the way that I think about where I get my energy. It's a change of mind that change your life, that change your health. Okay, I have to change my perspective. This comes through habit, through behavior, through practice. Something new comes, right? If you work out for a year, by the end of the year, something new is going to come that you don't have now. If you're fasting and living this way for a year, 2 years, 5 years, something new going to come now that's not here now. If you focus on something, it will grow. If you focus on your spirit inside of yourself and the relationship you have to your spirit, it will grow. And your health will grow, and your wealth will grow, and your relationships will grow.
It's amazing. On one extreme, you have on one extreme like the Eskimos that live only on meat, and on the other extreme, you have breatharians that live on nothing, on air.
So this is the yin yang of the world, right? This is the yin yang of the world, and you play both sides and you decide for yourself. Sabina, do you have to go, love?
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock. I actually have to go
now. Yes, I have to go as well too.
But I wanted to thank you all for being on the call today. And I just want to leave you with one thing. Rudolf Steiner said there are as many diets as there are people. And I actually agree with it. There's no diet that works for everyone. What I do doesn't mean it works for you. So all I invite you to explore, try different things. Try a few days raw food diet, see how you feel. Try a few days just eating fruits, see how you feel. Try adding some meat and some potatoes, see how you feel, and explore. That's what I did for 25 years. I tried all the ways, and I know exactly what does not work for me. My body tells me right away. And the more you're on this journey, your body will tell you what it needs. And your body will say, no, this was not okay. But then love yourself in the process. Even you pick something that might not, your body reacts to it negative, to say, okay, that was a lesson. Maybe next time I don't have it, or I have it a smaller portion of it, or I have it less occasionally. And I also agree with John, extremism is no good. I was mostly very extreme most of my life, and now I'm much more balanced. Sometimes I have something, I know it doesn't work for my body, but I have it anyway because I want to enjoy it with my son or someone else. And I bless it and I enjoy it without making myself wrong or beating myself up. That's really it. At the end, it comes down to self-love. Love yourself. That's really it. It's a love journey more than anything. You don't want to be
your nutrition
about food and about diet. Then you're an extremist, and extreme thinking makes us also tight. It clogs us up. It clogs our mind up. So we want to be always fluid, in the flow state, making life a dance in the flow.
Creation. Yes.
Okay, and that means opening up your mind to infinite possibilities and making life a joyful, making it playful. So life is okay? That's all I want to leave you with.
Fun.
Okay. Exactly. It should be fun at the end. We here to enjoy life, not to become too strict and extreme about things. And the last thing, to beat ourselves up and make ourselves wrong.
Yes, that's the masculine. That's
every choice, learning experience. That's a lesson. Okay. So thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you February 7 to 17.
Thank you.
We can create some magic together, because when people get together in groups, that healing is amplified. It doesn't happen by yourself. It happens in a group setting. That's where the powers are amplified and the results are heightened. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sabina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arik.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Arik.
Thank you, friends.
Lots of love to everyone.
Thank you, family.
Yes, guys. So we'll put all the details about the program.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, we'll put the details about the program in the group and also below this video. Also, you can contact John, who is in the group, directly. So you have all the channels to inquire about this program. And yeah, I think it's going to be amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. See you later, all. Bye-bye. I love you. I love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Love and light to everyone.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Have a nice
Goodbye.
day.
Bye.